Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on October 27th, and this week joining me once again is Barry. So say hello, Barry.
What's going on, everybody?
Glad you can join me. So we've got Elegant Temptress Lilith as our event or our unit this week, and no other units, or no other new units, I should say, no changes. It's basically just, well, I guess we did get some upgrades for. We'll get to them in a minute. The new global unit is just Lilith. So, of all the possible choices that could have been, Lilith, um, you know, a new Lucius, Godria was a popular speculation. Are, are you happy it's Lilith, or would you have rathered someone else, Barry?
So the part of me that used to panic when I played Arena has like really odd flashbacks of getting absolutely counter spammed to death and my entire team being gone because I didn't pull for the original unit or Lilith at all. And so now seeing her again, I'm like, well, obviously I'm going to pull this time, but um I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have any semblance of surprise. I feel like I'm the only person who actually really wanted Gaudria to come back, so I'll let it go. It's fine.
Oh, geez.
Yay, Lilith.
And that is true. Actually, from some of her previews, I think one of the previews was a counterattack. So she
Oh,
might
jeez.
she might be a headache again in the arena, depending how bulky she can get. Because currently, I know some of the arena tryhards, they can get Sylvie with a full immunity build and counterattack to I think something like 98,000 HP while being immune to everything and counter. So for a player like myself and yourself that knows how to do arena, you can still totally OTK them on turn one with like Itachi or Kaito or etc.
Hmm.
But that is like a nightmare for newer players that just can't OTK. Because if you can't OTK a 95,000 HP Sylvie, she's going to counterattack and bring the entire team back alive.
Exactly so.
And
Especially if you have premium Fiona's Vision card on, so you couldn't even first turn do it anyway.
Lilith might make arena even more of a headache going forward. Let's hope not, though. Uh,
It's fine. I'm still gonna click repeat on my two souls, so it's fine.
and then they're bringing all the old. No, they're not actually. They're not. Where's Ibarra?
So there aren't any of the actual Neo Visions on this banner.
Carton. Oh,
That's
that's the
five star
5 star.
Cardinal.
That's the five
Yeah.
star. You're right. You're right.
See, but
Okay.
this gives me a huge headache because my reserves are still so full of all of them from last year's with
Mhm.
pulling for Carton and the year before pulling for Ibarra that I don't want them. I
That
would
that
like them not to be.
That is true. Because last year I pulled for Carton too, and exactly like you said, I got something like 12 Godrias and like 10 of all the because the rates were like 35% for Rainbow. So one of three pulls was a Rainbow, and I pulled a lot. So
And
yeah,
and wasn't last year's also if you got a rainbow it was absolutely a Halloween unit?
I think it was. I think it was. I think it was 5% per Halloween unit for across all of them was the way it worked out. And yeah, it was only them you could not off banner rainbows, or you
But I
couldn't.
thought
Yeah, off banner rainbows.
they were
Um,
ridiculous.
It doesn't say they're doing that again here, so this
No.
this might just be a generic rate up. So the whole pool of rainbows, which I honestly I don't really care one way or the other because
No.
like whether I get a Gaijir or whether I get like another Eileen, like I don't even care, whatever. And that was a
Honestly,
bad that was a bad
probably
example.
I'd probably like another Eileen because you
Yeah,
could never have
okay.
too many scanning goggles. But
That she just popped into my head. I don't know why, but that was a horrible example because
you know,
she's one you do want like five STMR. So
I'm actually glad you said her because the first time I saw this new Lilith sprite, I thought, oh, they just reused Eileen's old assets.
oh, did they?
Like that's Eileen's face, right? Am I crazy?
I don't specifically remember her graphics that much, but it's possible. Then again, I mean, there's not much detail. It's like just a pink blob with some eye sockets. I think
Yeah,
I think that's kind of universal to all the sprites of this design.
you're probably right. Let's be honest.
But the step up. So we get a vision card, a good vision card. This is really good because in a different video with I was a guest on another video with Gert, and I was talking about how disappointing Lilith's vision card was, but thankfully a much better version is on the banner itself. That being said, it's good. Well, is she limited? We're gonna detour really quickly. We never got confirmation if she is limited. These units will be added to the pool, and the NV units will be added to without any. Only for the first week, she's limited. She is. Okay. So, yeah. So if you don't, I guess the better way to say it is if you don't do the step up and you get her from tickets, you'll just be stuck with a worse card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
I mean, worse for this clash, but probably not worse for her as a unit into the future.
I don't know, dude. Let's go compare the cards. That's a good time to compare. So we've got Lilith's card is 1,000 HP, 100 defense, and some passes. We'll come back to that. This one is 1,000 HP, 120 defense, and some spirit. They both give 500. They both give 500. This one has 150 double hand. This one has some killers, and this one has some resistances.
And killers too.
It does it? Oh, it does. It does. You're right. Absolutely. 100% killers.
Let me rephrase. When I said they're not stuck with a worse card, I was talking about Jecht's card.
Oh,
and definitely not her own card, which might as well be used as fusion material.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, this her innate card is just really, really poor quality. Well, compared to other options, like for a brand new player, this is technically a good card. 1,000 HP and 100 defense is good for a tanking card. If they don't have the 20 other better options that most of them were free, like the Dragon Quest card.
Right. But that assumes they were around for the Dragon Quest banner. So, I mean...
Yeah. So for newer players, her own card is okay. But like you said, for players that have everything, Jecht's card, as far as bulk, blows this away because Jecht's has 5,000 base HP, which is, after a percentage, is 20,000 higher HP, just right off the top.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good. So while we're here, we already mentioned that her own card is unfortunate, but if you don't do the step up and you don't have one of the betters, that's going to be hers. But here's the global exclusive card. So as we just kind of mentioned, this is an incredible tank card, especially for multi-tanking. For example, Omni covering Chow, or is it Locked to Brave Exvius?
No, there's no. No, it is the last one is. But...
So the killers and resist. That's not that big a deal for like Chow or Cecil or someone else Omni covering for your party. So this card seems really good to me. What do you think, Barry? Is it worth someone to pull if they were like on the fence with Lilith? Is this card the tipping point?
I'd almost look at it the other way, and if you're pulling for Lilith, you absolutely have to get this card, strictly because it's clearly best in slot for her for this Clash of Wills. It's got a decent amount of utility into the future, but I mean, how much utility? If we're talking about Omni cover, I would like a more diverse spread of resistances for an Omni cover unit. So, for example, Sylvie's card would probably be my preferred go-to in that instance. Okay. Even for reduced stats and losing some true double hand spirit and defense. I can see it being a situational play. It's probably really good for some things into the future, but will you die if you don't have it? Probably not.
Yeah, that's true. And I don't remember the specific stats, but we did have like a global exclusive tank card on the Mont banner, and that one had like DPS stats. By memory, do you remember as far as bulk goes? Was that more or less bulk than this one? I'm pretty sure the previous one was better for like damage dealers because it gave chain cap up and all that.
Yeah, I believe it was worse for bulk. I'll put it to you this way. It was not a good enough card for me to want to pull for it, despite it being a limited time and global exclusive card. Which for me to say that, I have like everything. So, no, I'm inclined to think probably not.
Yeah, same for me. I skipped that one as well. And then the follow up step up. So Lilith is a SLB unit, which our second one for global. They did Olive decently, I feel like. So
Mhm.
I don't think SLB is an automatic disqualification because it can be done properly. It would have been nice if she was Brave Shift, but whatever, it can still work. SLB.
So I actually, as time has gone on, I really appreciate the idea of SLB tanks because a tank should be a tank, and I think that brave shifting a unit that is your tank, if for some reason something goes wrong, or if it's an RNG centric fight, and now you're in a DPS phase where you roll low and then get just absolutely blown off the face of whatever you're fighting, I'd rather just have my tank be the tank.
Mm-hmm.
And so I almost think that it's safer to put an SLB tank on your team than say back when we were trying to use Chow as also a support DPS.
Yeah. For me, the big thing I love with shifting tanks is gearing like the form you're not gonna really use and all kind of auto buffing or preemptive buffing, and
Mm,
then shifting because all those buffs are permanent and they can't be dispelled. So like for
that's true.
example, like on Chow, you'll start him in the shift form with auto protect, auto shell, saintly castle, vermilion flag, etc. And then when you shift back, you've now got a undispellable, permanently break immune, general mitigation, magic mitigation, spirit buff. All of this is undispellable, permanent forever, and it came from really terrible gear that you wouldn't want to wear in your primary form, though. Like wisdom of Hess. You don't really want to wear that in your main form, but you would have to
Sure.
for an SLB unit.
Sure.
But it can still work.
Yeah.
For example, our best tank currently is Ronda, and he's SLB, and it works just fine.
True. And I mean, Jecht isn't anything to sneeze on either. He's just premium, so not too many people have or use him.
But she's a tag chainer, so that is really cool. I love tag chains, so
hmm
that'll be convenient.
Do we know, is she always a tag chainer, or is that locked behind something?
That
Kind
was
of like
not.
Chizuru stuff is.
I don't think that was specified on the stream. I don't think the news shows. So it could be like Chizuru, where she's not. Yeah, it doesn't say here either. So it could be like Chizuru, where until you get the SLB, she can't tag chain. But afterwards, you say right here, it adds tag chain to the kit.
Yeah, so there you go. So it looks like the SLB itself is a tag chain, which then lets all of her other skills be tag chain. So as far as her being a tag chainer, then it's almost, unless her base LB is as well, that tag utility is completely locked behind how hard you pull for her.
Pretty much. Now I'm curious, why is she a tag chainer? Not that I'm complaining. I'm certainly happy she is. I'd rather every unit be a tag chainer, but just like thematically, for example, Roberta's a tag chainer because of the pet dragon Ignitos. Chizuru is a tag chainer. This is kind of a stretch, but she's like tag chaining with her own shadow. That's
hmm
okay, sure, whatever. It's like, big anime ninja stuff. Okay. But why is Lilith a tag chainer? Like, what's the
So
what's the reasoning here?
do you still have her card pulled up?
I do. Right here.
Is that not called
Oh,
like
her,
her
her.
friends, her servants? So I assume it's whatever her servants are. It looks like bats.
Oh, okay. So during the LB, these
Her
little
heart bats.
these little
Yeah.
bats may pop out, and that's kind of cool. Okay, I can't wait to see it.
Either that or maybe Lucius just pops out from nowhere and tries to be relevant, even if it's only in her LB. I mean, I'm okay with both options. They're both great.
That'd be kind of cool. But okay, so now for a little bit of a negativity for me. So her STMR, I am very disappointed in this STMR. So this is a two-hander with only 500 flat defense, and the reason I'm unhappy about this STMR is basically just straight up worse than Warrior of Light's STMR, which is,
Mm,
I mean, TMR, which is just free to everyone. The Sword of Light. So the Sword of Light can either go to one-handed and be just dramatically better than this because you get to use a shield and you're going to get more than 1,000 extra defense over using this. Or as a two-hander, it gives 100 LB damage. Not to mention it's a better weapon for like imperils and all that. So yeah, this I'm not happy about this STMR. It seems weak.
I'm gonna withhold some judgment on it until we can see the entirety of her kit for no reason other than if something you already want to use should happen to have a big imperil just attached to it anyway, then maybe it makes it a moot point relative to swords versus maces. Um,
Yeah, for
this to me says she's clearly just a DPS unit and not actually a tank, because by losing the versatility of a shield to use her STMR, you kind of put your hands up and shrug.
Yeah, see, the problem is this could be easily fixed by changing this flat defense value for her only to be 1500 because you
Hmm.
get approximately 1,000 defense from your shield. So by losing the shield, you're losing 1,000 defense. This should make up for it because you also get 500 defense from the Sword of Light in the one-handed form. So you're getting 1,500 defense from the shield and sword. With this, you're only getting 500. So do they not realize? Do they want to intentionally make her have a worse STMR? Like I don't get why it's only 500 flat defense instead of 1,500. That's
Yeah, I
what
don't know.
that's
I mean, does the variance difference in a two-handed mace versus a one-handed sword account for the stat differential?
As far as DPS, as far as DPS goes, there's no comparison. You have to go two-hander. Yeah, and
Okay.
for DPS, it is absolutely 100%. You go two-handed because you need that. You are going to lose 1,000 defense, but you're getting variance, and that makes up for it.
So then, I mean, I'm sure that's where the mind is, right? If we want to be able to use her optimal capabilities specifically for this clash, this makes
Exactly.
me think like her damage is going to be absolutely ludicrous,
Exactly. But here's the problem though. She's SLB. So
right?
on like phase 2 when the boss goes in rage mode and is hitting really really hard, you can't shift to the one-hander shield sword build for an extra 1,000 defense. You're stuck with this, and if she's going to be a hybrid unit, meaning hybrid is in doing both roles at once, you need the weapon to account for that. And that's why she needs 1,500 defense on this. But we're spending too long talking about this. It's not going to happen. Big missed opportunity. So hopefully the next time they make another tank with a two-hander, they take into account the comparison to a one-handed and a shield while
Right.
tanking.
Or just give that unit monkey grip and let him use a two-handed weapon and a shield.
That would be the cooler way to do it, or not even that, or just what they should do. And I've talked about this before. Is for DPS units, for example, Savior Lightning, her original design was the
Hmm.
one-hander and shield while DPSing. All they
Hmm.
have to do, it's so easy. You just edit it so that while using a shield, one-handers have 1.5 variance. How easy is that? It's
Oh, but that could get out of hand really, really quickly.
if you're using a shield though.
But then you can just give someone to equip a shield materia, and now everybody's a sword and board god.
I guess technically speaking, okay, sure. I guess. Oh
Oh
well.
man, that would be fun though. Okay, let's go on.
All right. So here's the counterattack I mentioned. So we know she has counters. Is it AOE? All enemies. Yep, it's an AOE. I'm sure it's a bolting strike chain or divine ruination chain, what the old ones were.
Oh please, oh no, oh divine ruination. Oh god. Okay,
So
yay.
well, it's a counterattack, so it doesn't matter that. I'm sure she doesn't have that as her actual normal chains. I hope not.
I hope not too.
And then she
But
had
if it's tag chaining, then who cares?
true, also true. And then she has Veil of Night, which is basically the what's his name? The Kresnik Magnus.
Hmm.
It imbues the enemy with dark, and it lets her only absorb dark. That's important. So if the boss is using like cover ignoring physicals, this is not protecting the rest of your party. So keep that in mind. Oh, and here it is, right here. Reduce resistances to maces, right there. So
Right.
she does have mace in peril.
And it's on her level 5 ability, which makes me think we're probably going to use it more often than not. So it might make it a moot point. I'll also throw out there, just for what it's worth, her TMR is pretty good. Because we spent so much time talking about her STMR, we didn't
Oh, it is.
mention it.
You're right. Yep.
Her TMR is fine.
Yeah, it's got resistance, AP and defense, and then double hand. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. And then we went over the card already. And then the event. The event is I saw a lot of people after the live stream were excited about the upcoming cool event. I mean, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but what's so exciting about a Mog King? But okay. I mean, sure.
Look, so I'm gonna sit here. I'll cross my fingers briefly, and say maybe, just maybe, they'll give us lore.
Oh, you're right. The Ibarra thing had a story event tied to it,
Right.
like a little story
Yes,
thing.
yes, it did.
Okay.
And so maybe they didn't give it to us for Carton because he's a precursor, so why would we? But maybe we get some lore here.
Yes, that would be cool. Now, if we have some little story cutscenes to give some more background to Lilith, maybe the rest of the units as well, Godria, Lucius, etc., and we know why they even exist, that would be awesome. And that I would be happy about. But if it's just a zero cutscene farm the Mog event, that is just boring.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it was more along the lines of like a quasi story event, but not.
Mm-hmm. That'd be really cool.
Alas.
So this actually has some decent gear. So the two-handed whip is kind of like it's a whip, so we can just kind of scroll right past that one. But Lucius's upgraded STMR, which you're getting for free from the Mog King rewards, etc., it's pretty good. So it gives what it always gave was the LB fill and then the attack power with fist, but now it's getting 60 defense and 100% defense when using a mace. So this seems pretty clearly like a budget version or a budget mode for Lilith, I would assume.
I like to think so. I mean, was it always LB gauge 5 though?
Yes.
Did it always do 5?
Oh,
Wow.
No, I think it was 3.
Yeah, I think so too, because 5 is pretty high.
Yeah. Okay, that is a good upgrade. Nice. Yeah, it was 3 in the past. Now that I think about it.
People won't hurt as bad if they didn't get Dragon Brush or Paws.
Mm-hmm. That's really good. And this is really cool too. The hygienic coat. It's the gears. Who cares? But it enables Dispelga in the clothing slot. This is amazing because
It's so good. It's so good. My arena team is so happy right now. I can give it to Sylvie and stop using Lena's STMR.
Wait, you use Dispelga in the arena? That
Absolutely.
Doesn't that get banned during White Magic ban weeks?
It hasn't had a White Magic ban week in such a long time.
Oh, really?
And then I just use Bushido Freedom.
Yeah, I was about to say. So, what's the reason you don't use Bushido Freedom just anyway?
It's too slow.
Oh. Okay.
So it throws off my timing sometimes with spamming Quadcast Chaos Wave Awaken.
But I was actually happy about this for things like Dark Visions because you know the dual cast dispel your own party trick. That's annoying to get from Lena's STMR on like usually your support units because you need equipped staff, you need to use their weapon slot, which usually you'd rather it be like Durandal or something. And this is just amazing hygienic code. Not for the stats, they're whatever, but for the enabling Dispelga, super cool.
Look, I'm always happy for good utility equipment pieces. Like Broom from the last Vision world, amazing.
Yes.
Give me more of those, because I've still never pulled a single Leftia.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
It's the only Neo Visions I think I don't have at this point.
And then the rugged boots are kind of whatever. I mean, for a brand new player, sure, they're okay, but other than that, you've got better.
Indeed.
And then we have the Don't Stop Slashing EX fight. So what is your prediction? Is this going to be a turn 1 OTK, or is it going to be...
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because they
and probably with year-old units.
Because they have made challenging global exclusive EX bosses. Remember the original design units? Kairos, Authisto, and Master Clay or whatever. I forget what it was called. Those were pretty hard for EX fights.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. And I don't think this is one, because this just looks like a watered-down version of the Class of Wills fight to me.
Okay. It's very possible. And then again, this could be like the new player content of the week while the veterans have fun in Clash of Wills. So that would make sense.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And then this I'm not as excited about. So apparently we're getting another either cash or lapis bundle for exclusive gear. Now, in the past, I have bought some of these. For example, Paws of Prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing it again. This one, I don't think is that special. I'm not going to spend unless this is like 100 lapis. I'm not going for this. So all it really does is 30% evasion and an accessory, which is the highest evasion accessory in the game. The highest currently is 25. This is 30. But I'm not spending lapis for 5 more evasion in the accessory slot.
Yeah. Nah, and I mean, if you were somebody who pulled on the old equipment ticket exchange banners, then I mean, the Ready Steady garb in a clothes spot was 50% evasion.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
not for this. If it is a cash bundle, not for no lapis. If it is a lapis bundle and it's more than like 1,500 lapis, it's a hard no, which it will be because there's 20 STMR tickets. It's no, just absolutely no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if this was 50% evasion, like you mentioned, on the accessory, I'd consider it depending on the price.
Sure,
But for 30,
definitely
no way. No way.
no. And honestly, not only for 60 flat attacker magic either.
Oh, yeah, true. That could definitely be higher. Like, what is our current highest, not counting the Clash gear, 85 from Pain?
85 from Pain is correct, and
Mm-hmm.
then for magic, that's 100 from Yuna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just too low. Too low. Some bundles, and then the Hill of Fortune is coming back. You know, this is usually super, super cheap. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
grab it, it's there. Also, we are finally getting some upgrades to units from the JP server.
Jeez.
These are so overdue, months overdue. But it's kind of exactly like we predicted as a community. These were skipped because they wanted to sell Yuna. That was it.
Uh-huh.
The water support Yuna. As soon as she came
Mhm.
out, her banner closes. Now we can have Nicole.
Yep. And that's it. I mean, Sakura, everything to do with Sakura's DOA because Sylvie exists. And like, why would I use a single target 100% lightning amp when I could use an AoE 100% lightning amp with an imbue and everything else her kit does? Nicole could be useful someday, but I'm not going to do it until then.
Same for me. So they actually do get some free upgrades on top of the crown. So 4 crowns, this would... Oh, here it is. It goes straight down here. It makes her field AoE 50% in peril, and for enemy side only. Currently, it's both sides. This changes it to only enemy side, which is a lot better. And it is 50, which is really high. But that costs crowns. Now, right here, I have been wanting this since forever. Finally, she is getting burst added to her kit. How many times have we asked for this? Oh my god, but she's finally getting it.
Yeah, it still baffles me that it took that long.
Now, we're still missing a ton of other burst. Not that I
Yes.
care. I don't really care about these, so don't think I'm just complaining 'cause I don't care. But just for completion's sake, we're still missing it on all the lightning variants: Savior Lightning, Original Lightning. I think Radiant Lightning was supposed to get it. We're also missing it on the older Sakura versions. For example, Blossom Stage Sakura.
Mm-hmm.
But those never ever saw use, so no one really cares. This unit does see, even with Sylvie, for anyone that didn't have Sylvie, this is your next best option. So she saw a lot of use, and her not having burst was a real big handicap, but now she has it. So that's good. And then her skills get upgraded. We don't really care about her. She doesn't deal damage.
No.
And then Nicole is the same thing. He gets the EX. Oh, I didn't even mention the EX2. Okay, so for Sakura, and Nicole has the water version. At EX2, you get this. This is the ramping single target 100% amplify. Exact same as Lefty is for fire, but theirs are for lightning for her and water for Nicole. And yeah, Nicole's crowns were the same thing, but for water. So there it is. And then Carton's intrinsic. So this is the only intrinsic for the month. And this is going into the Guild Shop and Craftable with crowns. They don't tell us the modifier either. So based on what you see here, Barry, is this what Carton needed?
No. No. And I think it was always doomed to be that way because it's free. Well, Gil, but free, right? I feel like anything that's going to be worth implementing, even if it's only for a short amount of time, is going to have a cost. Gil is not a cost at this point for most of us.
Well, this does cost crowns as well.
That's true, but just obtaining it through that means, I don't know. I feel like even crowns as a resource, while it's really, really rare and global, I I get the feeling that because it doesn't have a lapis cost tied to it, because they listened to the community and realized that that format is not ideal, which I will give them credit for in a rare moment for me. Um, I can't get excited about it because I know I'll be disappointed if I do.
And something just, slightly, as like a side effect of this, if they are discontinuing the 12K step ups, it was kind of speculated because the shop was permanent for the exchange
Mhm.
that we were going to get like a 12K step up every month for a different unit, but you could always go back and buy an older intrinsic from that shop. So if that has been discontinued, that kind of means Napi's intrinsic is now just lost forever if you
Mhm.
didn't buy the original version.
That's very true, which is kind of sad because I didn't, but I'm sure I'll be fine.
I think we will be.
Just a hunch.
And then the best thing of the week is the Crumblier, the Clash of Wills boss. So, how do you rate this guy's sprite? 1 to 10.
Man, he looks so goofy. I can't. I guess I'll have to see if when I can see it maybe in game. I'm hoping in game it looks better. They do usually look better as
Hmm.
opposed to just as a sprite render, but compared to some of the ones we've had in the past, easy like D tier.
Yeah, I was hoping for something like more classically Halloween, like
Yeah.
the Vampire Lord or something like that. But I guess it is technically like a zombie, kind of, sorta, in a way. But it's
Looks like it
fine.
has mushrooms growing on its back. I
He
don't know if I'm
does.
seeing that right.
Yeah, he does. That's actually kind of cool. I think the little fungus on the background.
Yeah, that's why I have hope that it probably looks better in game because they
Hmm.
do usually, but this is also the first Clash boss of the quarter, so they tend to be cupcakes too. So
That is true. It's the first boss of the season, huh? Yeah, he's probably gonna be really easy, unfortunately. Usually. Well, he does Stone, Charm, and Instant KO. He boosts his parameters. He uses Earth, Dark, and Non-Elemental physical and magic attacks. And you got to hit him with the proper element. Seems to be the same similar format, and we will go in and see the AI on Thursday. Also, for people that are interested, I will attempt to live stream it on Thursday. It always depends on the timing. Sometimes the maintenance is going like an extra 12 hours. So
hmm
if that happens, I might not be on Thursday. But assuming the server comes up in a reasonable time frame, I'll try to live stream on Thursday. What's this special effect this month? Remove status effects and charm, cure poison. Whatever. The usual Fortuna bundle. And where's that? Yeah, here it is. Okay, nope, that's not it. Let me show the max rank. Here it is. Okay, so we have new Clash of Wills gear. This is I think they said in the stream, medium armor or light
hmm
armor, whatever it's called.
hmm
165 attack and magic. So I guess we're power creeping the Clash of Wills gear again.
But
Which,
it has to have light armor.
yes,
So now that being said, if we scroll down and look at the new materia, these are amazing.
yes. So in the
These
in
are amazing.
so this is now a global exclusive feature that we can equip light armor. Does this mean Nelica is now meta because she can equip her own STMR?
Oh man, no, no, it doesn't. But well, no, but what it does mean is now people that you really want to use cool stuff, like I don't have to burn a horribly useless equip slot now to give someone a helm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm arguably more excited about helm mastery than I am about light armor. Um, just because for whatever reason, a lot of units tend, if they are supposed to wear clothes, they get passives for clothes in their kit.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a thing for God since 5-star base mages. But to be able to not completely ruin a slot for Helm, and light armor is pretty great. I think they took the lesson learned with like Neovision's Fravia's TMR.
Yeah, these are amazing. I am super happy with those. I am definitely going to grab both of them.
Hmm.
Uh, and as far as the new passives, so uh, this is not the what's it called? This is not Magisters, and it's not like a
Hmm.
better Magisters. This is the Chain Speed passive,
Hmm.
which is virtually worthless.
Hmm.
Okay, I say that, and people all the time say in my videos, "Why do you gear for the Chain Cat passive?" So that is the kind of thing when you have literally nothing left to equip in a slot, you put Chain Speed. In some units like Chizuru, they cap everything with like 3 slots left over. So you put
Hmm.
Chain Speed in. You never gear for that as the first step.
Which let's talk about that because this now, realistically speaking, that variant of this armor is now arguably best in slot for Chizuru because she's a tag chainer.
Well, well, you would use this one, the ruler's
Well,
version.
I mean, sure, if we're gonna peen, but which of
Well,
course you have to when setting a friend unit. So yes, I
well,
agree with you.
it's not even peeing because this will add more damage than this will.
That's true, but it's slower damage. Fast is always better, right?
Not always, especially considering Chizuru is a self capper, so chain speed
It's
is
true.
even less important on her.
It's true.
But it's
I don't know.
there.
I'll never use it. It's fine.
So this is actually, I'm not going to make this, but I'm glad it exists because I actually skipped the armor with the 50 evasion chest
Mm,
piece. So
hmm.
this gives a permanent option to have that if it ever comes up that I somehow needed it. So
Hmm.
this is cool. Um,
I don't hate 100% hide too, to be completely honest.
yes,
On
that's actually
DPS.
that's really good because the way camouflage works, it's not additive. So, for example, 50 and 50 is not 100%. It's like
Hmm.
75. 100 from one slot is 100%. And that's the reason, like on a party wipe, Kresnik will never, ever, ever die from single target until the entire party is dead because he has
Hmm.
100% in one slot. So, yes, this is actually really good in some scenarios. That said, unless your tank is just dead, it's
Sure.
never really going to matter.
Well, I mean, I can see some really interesting strategy scenarios where people want to use Sky as their main DPS.
Mm-hmm.
This would be very good for that because one, you get 50% evade, which you can then use her limit burst to decrease accuracy. So now she effectively has 100% evade unless the boss has innate accuracy. And then because she's so squishy, giving her 100% hide on top of it, you could actually potentially do some very interesting things in the future with this if Sky is your best DPS.
That's assuming though that you're not using a tank on the party to provoke, because
It's
the
true.
thing is, if camouflage is applicable, then provoke is as well.
That's true.
So yeah. Also, just for players that aren't aware of this, I see this comment a lot. For someone that, for example, wanted to use this and give like a support unit the 50 evasion while being your passive provoker, passive provoke overrides camouflage. So if you give a unit the dancer's diadem and this chest piece, this 100% decrease is ignored. It's suppressed. The dancer's diadem overrides that. So don't worry about this. This will never interfere. You can put this on your main tank. It will not interfere as long as they have provoke in their kit because that overrides camouflage,
Hmm.
which is nice.
Yes, it is.
And then rulers, which is probably just the overall best one because
Hmm.
it's just universally good. Then this one reduces damage at the beginning of battle after being revived. So it's kind of like Saintly Castle, I would assume. Just
I
general
mean,
mitigation.
yeah, so the usability of that, as far as I'm concerned, is entirely going to depend on what the mitigation percentage actually is. If it's like 50% or above, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's good.
If it's 30%, which I get the hunch it is, I'm good.
Pretty much, pretty much. And then this one. Once per battle, you get a resist buff for caster only. So
I'm good. I'm good
yeah, if
with
this
it.
is
I'm good.
like 500%, then okay. If it's even then, like I it's not that this can't be useful sometimes. It's that the opportunity cost is you're giving up this in order to get this. So this has to
Mhm.
be outstandingly overpowered. And even if it is like complete immunity for a turn, it's literally once per fight. So
Mhm.
it could come up on some strategy, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And then here is our Clash of Wills shop, the unit selected. So Sky is going to be obviously most people's pick if you don't have her already. Other than that, how's the quality of this shop, Barry?
So let's be honest and say even for people who do have Sky, she should still probably be the pick if you don't have like 8 or more copies of her STMR, which will be eternally useful because of rare killers by itself.
I'm feeling called out right now.
I'm not pointing fingers or anything. I'm just saying that that's something that is a thing.
Yeah.
Um, Edge missing his upgrades sucks, so that's a complete non sequitur. Rydia, if we ever go the way of Dark Visions being completely magic or physical locked, I there's not that many ice mages at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so she could potentially be useful, but looking that far into the future doesn't really benefit you now. Pretty much all I see is opportunities for free Sky STMRs with the cost of a Moogle, two great materias, and then the same tickets that I always get.
Um, touching on that briefly, you mentioned that the JP Dark Visions change that we're probably going to get on Glow, even though it's going to be unfortunate. We probably will get it just because it's less work for them to copy paste it.
Hmm.
Vivi actually becomes decently useful in those
That's
Dark
true.
Visions because of Onion Knight, the awakened Onion Knight, which we should be getting very soon. That like revives Vivi and makes him good again. And I've actually
Mm,
used Vivi as my solo capper for most of these sub bosses in the recent JP Dark Visions because Onion Knight enables Vivi, and Vivi can do really good with Onion Knight. It's kind of like a better version of Merilith for Vivi.
okay. I
And
mean, that's something, I guess.
that being said, I'm not really advocating people to pick VV because Sky's really good. Edge might get his upgrades, just maybe late, kind of like Securus were. So that'd be amazing if he did. He's actually really good after his upgrades.
Hmm.
Also, you're competing with these, and these cost, by memory, 1,000 apiece. So
Hmm.
yeah, so while VV can be useful, I think he's low priority compared to this stuff and maybe Sky and Edge.
Well, so as far as the costs of those go, though, in the past with the good killer and resist materials, haven't we been able to get two?
Yes, yes. So this would be assuming you wanted to buy out all the unique stuff. This would be 4,000 for both of these to get all of
Yeah.
these, two copies each.
Well, I
So,
don't foresee us being able to get two copies.
oh, you think so? You think it's just one each?
Yeah, I would venture to say it probably would be one of each
Oh, I hope
because
not.
that's eh,
It's possible though. It is possible. I don't know. It's a good question.
I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of going off the assumption I can get two of these. Man, I'll be disappointed if we can't. I don't know. I actually don't know. So we'll find out.
Indeed.
But that's pretty much the event for the week, the stuff for the week. Anything else you want to say before we head out, Barry?
Oh man. All right. So for players who care about Clash of Wills, this we know what happened last time. We got a time limited global exclusive tank. And
Oh, ciao.
y- right. And being someone who is like I'm an admin of the Facebook group for the global community. Um we have many, many times that people will post things like, well, I don't have Chow, but I have this, this, and this. What can I do? And it's Clash of Wills related, and it's usually Clash of Wills that have been keyed to Chow, where you need to be able to have his morale generation. Eh, This is probably a unit that a lot of people really, 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 really should be pulling for. That being said, the most common question that I foresee asking or being asked is, we know that Nier is coming. They just announced their next live stream. They told us Hiroki-san is going to be on it. They told us it's a fall festival. You know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I cannot answer for anyone if you should pull Lilith or if you should save for Nier. And I suspect that most of us in the community who have enough knowledge of the game to answer this also can't answer this for you. So, if you really like Lilith, if you foresee her being really pivotal to Clash of Wills into the future, which again, based on precedent with global exclusive time limited tanks, she absolutely will be, yes, probably, but it entirely depends on how much you really care about Nier and if you think that you are going to need the totality of your resources to get whatever those banners are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely true. If you can't afford both, you're going to have to make a decision. Um, yep, so we will know more on Thursday when we can get her data mine and get a full, complete idea of her kit. And that'll be interesting to see.
Very much so.
All right, so thanks again for joining me, Barry.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, see you guys next time.